Yo, we here. What's popping? We here with Legacy Clothing. You got Raheem in the building. Killing should be here in a minute. You feel what I'm saying? But so we talking about financial goals for 2025. You know what I'm saying? So what's the joint with that? What's the thoughts and all that good stuff?
Yeah, man, just financial goals, man. You know, in today's day and age, you have to actually set goals for your money. But yeah, man, a lot of times people don't realize that things cost money. You got to account for inflation, all that type of stuff. And if you don't have plans for your money's going to go to waste. Meaning, you got to set aside what you're paying for rent every month. You know what I mean? You got to have a budget for everything. You know, your food budget, your going out budget, your medical budget. All these budgets got to be in place. Otherwise, you just end up falling farther and further behind, man. You know, that go the way it is. It's wild out here. If you don't know how much money you have to spend, people are just swiping debit cards. So it's easy to swipe debit cards, not actually paying attention to what bills you got to pay.
Right.
I mean, just a bit. That's the truth.
That's real shit. So, Kelly, what's your thoughts, man? What's going on?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, long time, man. Happy New Year, nigga. What's going on with you?
Happy New Year, fellas. Happy New Year.
Yes,
Happy
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Feels good to be back. Yes, definitely. You know, you gotta have a goal, because if you don't know where you're going, you'll never know when you're gonna get there. So I think that it's super important, you know, to set these things in place. And we all know one thing can affect another. So what do I mean by that? So yes, you want to get your finances in order, and you want to make sure that you set that up before the year starts. But you also want to make sure that your health is intact, because I don't care what business you're running. If you're not healthy, or if you're not up to par with your health, you can't efficiently run your business. And I'm talking from personal experience, you know. So, you know, that's first and foremost. Also, personal development, because that's another area to where people they lose focus, is you personally developing, because it will affect their business in a negative way if you're not personally growing yourself.
Yes, sir.
And then you have to have some level of spirituality, whether you believe in God or not. You have to still have something or someone that you connect with that's higher than yourself. All of these things are in alignment with what your goals are going to be. And the reason why I stress this factor is because most people think that you can separate these things. No, they have to all connect. They have to all connect.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize, especially if you listening and you young one here, man, like this is super, super important. Health, spirituality, personal development, and your finances must all connect in one.
Right.
But this is the money game, so we're gonna focus on finance. Let's get these numbers in order for 2025.
That's what's up. So what are your thoughts on certain things that people can do that they should do to get their money up? They probably weren't doing last year. You know what I mean? Like, what's some things that you see that, you know, is going on out here?
You know, I mean, just spending money recklessly, man. At the end of the day, though, you know, it's one of those things where people should be printing out their bank statements and looking where they can save money and cut back on. A lot of times, you don't realize how many times we go to McDonald's. We don't realize how many times we get little bottles, you know what I mean, a liquor and all that type of stuff. We don't realize how many packs of cigarettes we buying if we smokers. You know what I mean? The smokers don't realize how many ounces we get. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just looking at your bank statements, you know, and really just keeping an eye on stuff and seeing where you can cut back at, man. Subscription is another one. We talked about this many times last year. How many subscriptions you got out here? 10, 15 subscriptions, ones you forgot about that you don't know about. So to keep it, look at your bank statement, man. Your bank statement will tell your whole spending history and your whole story, because let's face it, it's very rare that people walk around with cash these days. Only time you work with cash is if you're only going to about 2 places. We know what those places are. So everything is tracked these days. So that's one of the advice, that type of advice we give people.
Hey, I remember when I used to there was a point in time where I used to get mad at other people for only having cards on them. I'm like, nigga, you ain't got no cash. What's wrong with you? Like I was on my like low key, you know, hustler street nigga shit. Like, yo, nigga, you got cash, nigga. What's wrong with you, son? Lie. Come on, son. How you ain't got no cash? Nigga, I can't tell you when was the last time I touched a piece of paper money, bro.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy, man. That shit crazy. But what the question I want to ask is, as crazy as 2025 has been already, like, what are some things that stood out to you guys from the financial perspective that like, because and what I mean is this, like, can we talk about insurance, life insurance, right? We got the fires in Los Angeles or California. And now they're calling it the California fires, not just LA no more, right? So we got the fires over there. We got a new president coming in, right? We got, Tesla vehicle, we got electric vehicles blowing up and shit. We got, bitches on ESPN, trying to reverse Me Too niggas. Like, what we got the Dipset fighting with each other. And imagine Cam and Mace is back cool, but Tim and Jim Jones is beefing. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yo, 2025 has been a fucking conundrum. You understand, in itself. So what, like, in times like this, where should people focus financially?
I mean, that's a good question, man. I mean, you should focus financially on your own personal pockets, man. I mean, looking at the market right now, a lot of people are spending too much in rent. Rent's at an all-time high right now. So a lot of the living situation is not conducive for their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Where, your rent's $2,000. You got to spend, $400 for the average person. And that's if you're single. For food, you at $2,400. Then you talk about transportation. If you taking a bus alone, it's damn near $200 a month to maintain the Metro card these days. $300. You know what I mean? Then you're talking about just other basic bills, medical bills.
Wait. I'm sorry. Hold that thought. Medical bills, right? But I'm looking at New York, and y'all talking about congestion toll expenses. They just raised up all of the fucking tolls.
Raise all the tolls.
In New York, like it's $29 just across a fucking bridge.
Yeah. And that's a real thing. That was a $3,000 budget without a car. That was a $3,000 budget without a car. So imagine if you only bring $2,800 a month after taxes, you operating in red automatically. And that's if nothing goes wrong. And we all know life, things go wrong. You got to buy a shirt, you got to buy this, you got to pick this up, that up. And now that budget goes up to $4,000 if you actually got a car in New York City. Exactly. Which now you got to bring it in the negative $1,200. So I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that they are turning the Metro cards into a credit card.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know.
Like Omni, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like they're pretty much trying to get rid of
the Omni credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I don't know why they didn't do this already, but let me tell you what I know. This is not an assumption. What I know that they're going to do, because let me explain something to you. Imagine 1 million people at any given time have a revolving amount of at least $10 in credit on that card. 1 million people with at least $10 average on credit. That's $10 million for the city to play with on the stock market.
Yeah, I didn't think on that angle. That's crazy. That's true. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Now, I say this because, guys, consider this. Consider if you have a business where people pay into, they have a like a card or some type of mechanism that they pay into. So so let's just say, for example, let's just say Netflix, instead of you paying $9.99 a month, let's just say Netflix tells you just pay up on the Netflix credit card. Just pay up, so your shit is paid, prepaid, whatever. Then, see, what I'm trying to explain to guys or anybody listening is that is a particular business strategy or a business model that more companies are going to adopt, because understand, and okay, for the last decade, subscription-based business models have been the key. When you could get your customers to pay per month.
Right.
But trust me, what's going to be the new key? What's going to be the next iteration of this is to have a prepaid situation. where we know you're gonna spend money on my product or service anyway. So just throw $1,000 at it. Throw $5,000 at it. So so based on the sum of money that you have in the account, you can take advantage of either this special service or this special discount or this special event is coming up and you already paid up, so you can enter for free. Or matter of fact, you could get a VIP seating. So what are the rich people gonna do? They're just gonna be like, you know what? At the beginning of the year, I'm gonna just drop 50,000 on my account. So everything's paid up, and whenever any special events come up, I'm already paid up. Meanwhile, that company is using the sum of all its customers. They're using the sum of that money to gamble on the stock market, and they're making big ass interest off of your money. Because that's what banks have been doing for years, but now it's going to trickle into each private corporate S&P 500 company. They're going to start doing that shit.
Right.
They're going to start doing that shit. Because think about it. Think about everything that you pay for. Remember when we used to buy video games? We used to buy a single cartridge, or for PlayStation, we used to buy a single compact disc. Now you pay monthly on a network subscription, and you play the games now all online, or you can directly download the software to your joint. But they're always coming up with, oh well, we got this event, and oh we got this discount, and we got this coming up. Oh, and the new beta testing for the new game, it's an arena game, and you could play the game. So you could just be paid up. And you don't have to worry, and you could have access to it instantly because you're at a certain threshold. I'm saying this because anybody listening to me, if you have a product or service, you can implement this into your business plan. Where you're giving customers, you're bleeding the service and the product, but you're holding sums of their money before it's necessary.
Right.
So because you're holding that sum of money, you can put a conservative amount of that money onto the stock market. So let's just say a million people in New York, they got that new Metro credit card, MetroCard credit card.
Right.
That's 10 million, right? But you think to yourself, not everybody going to be using their shit at the same time and as fast, and other people still going to be putting money in. So we could gamble with at least 3 to 5 million on the stock market and never have to worry, because the buffer of that $5 million buffer is enough to satisfy anybody who needs to use our service. Meanwhile, new customers are still paying in, because some people, they just want to pay for their they just want to pay for their Metro card for the whole fucking year because they don't want to think about it every month.
Right.
You understand? So what I'm saying is, if you have a certain service, trust me, I'm telling you, watch, you're gonna start seeing Uber and DoorDash and Postmates and all these little things where you pay monthly. They're gonna be like, no, just pay up, put a cash advance on your Uber credit bill or your Uber credit account. You understand? So now you can schedule rides for your family without even thinking about it. See what I'm saying? So I'm just putting that out there, and watch, I gonna see.
I think that's a great way to perceive it, because that is the future. That is honestly the future. I could honestly see that happening. I feel like for the average Joe out there, right? First things first, we gotta be aware of what that person's budget is, right? Everybody's budget is a different number. And that person has to identify that number and be realistic with the process. So what do I mean by that? Most of America is living check by check. They, just trying to get by, right?
Right.
Always take advantage of this time of the year. What's coming up, guys? Taxes, right? Income tax. So this is somewhat, because it's their money. Like, it's their money. Like, so they have to. This is the best way to get a head start. And most people fumble a bag at this time. So first thing that they got to do is go to RKT Real Estate Finance and book a consultation with us, right? So that we can help you with this head start.
Right.
Because once you get that head start, it's easier to now budget. What do I mean by that? Let's just say if you're getting back about $5,000, plus you're still working, you're making, $1,000 a week. So for that month of February, you've got about close to $10,000, a little over 9,000. Now you have a head start for March, April, May. Now you can take at least maybe half or a quarter of that 5,000. Let's just say 2,000 out of that 5,000 you took out and you put it aside. Now in March, you can afford to put another 1,000 on top of that. April, you could afford to put another 1,000 on top of that. That's after you paid off your bills. Because remember, you were only living off 4,000. Give yourself a head start. So by the end of the year, you'll at least have an X amount of money.
Right.
You'll at least get to at least 10,000 by the end of the year. The problem is there's no starting point for anyone.
Real quick, guys. So real quick, where would you like them to schedule the consultation? Is it Legacy Builders US or is it RKT Real Estate?
Legacy Builders.
Legacy Builders. Okay. All right. So Champ Lee, the banner is right there, but I'll put it in the chat as well. So it's Legacy Builders US. LegacyBuildersUS.com.
Right.
Yeah. So and I think that's the main thing. I think most people's problem is they just don't know where to start. You need a starting point. You need a number or goal. And we're speaking about goals, right? What's that number that you want to get to by the end of the year? And if the end of the year is too broad of a reach, how much do you want to have by the end of the quarter or by summertime?
Right.
So those are realistic timeframes, realistic numbers that we can actually help people get to, because it's too much for them to see past into 2026. That's fine. But we have to at least help them get to that first point, which is the end of this quarter at least. How much do you want to see after your taxes, after it's all said and done?
Cool. So Yoda says, put it aside and do what with it? Invest or save to start a small business?
Both. You should be investing a small percentage of the money that you have. You should be saving a certain percentage of what you have as well. We as Americans, we live way beyond our means, so we have to start practicing on living, below the means. If you're making $2,000 a month and your bills are up to maybe $1,400-$1,500, you have $500 left over each month of discretionary income. You shouldn't be spending no more than $200. But they'll spend the whole $500 and then owe somebody extra $100 or $2 after at the end of the month.
Yo, why do niggas love Owen?
I don't know.
Racist, but it just seemed like niggas love to owe niggas. Like they feel like they getting over some shit. I don't like that shit.
It's tough. I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because it's like, I feel like for most people, the reason why they don't spend the 200 and save the other 300 or whatever, if they have 500 left, is because I think most people, and Rashid was talking about this, you got to look at where your money's going and what you're doing to be conscious of the fact that that's what's happening. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of times you get caught up in the routine of what you're doing to not realize that, if I actually stopped and looked, I could be saving this amount of money a month by doing this or not doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And I'll say this, because we talked about subscriptions, right? I would say to kind of get people's mind wrapped around the idea is to start a savings subscription. What I mean is automate your saving.
Right.
Automate your saving. Like, for example, and I'll be transparent. I have a life insurance policy that I started with Kayleen, and I don't look at it, but I don't even notice it.
Right. Exactly. It just happens.
It's being contributed to on a monthly basis, and I don't think about it. I don't worry about it, but I'm saving already. Like off top, I'm saving.
Right.
And so the money that I actually do spend on expenses, my conscience is clear because I know the money is the money's set and already being saved. So
Right.
all of you guys out there, all of you, men and women, gentlemen and ladies and all that shit, everybody, figure out a way. Anything that you're investing in, whether it's your Vanguard, your life insurance policy, your money market, shit, even your fucking Robinhood. Because I know some of you got your Robinhoods and you got your bank connected to your Nike stock, whatever. Automate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you put too much pressure on yourself to remember, oh, let me put $200 in that account. Oh, let me put $200 and save this. Oh, let me do no, automate. Set it up set it up like number one, if you got a job, contribute to your 401k automatically. Right? Then beyond that, if you got yourself like a Roth IRA, contribute automatically. If you got a life insurance policy, contribute automatically. If you got a Vanguard, contribute automatically. Anything you do where you're saving your money and investing, set it up to be automated, because I know you probably, especially people who first start investing, they I need to see where my money's going because I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. And you should pay attention to your money.
Right.
But what I'm saying is when it comes to the saving part, just automate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just automate it. And when you see yourself with extra money, set up another automation.
Right.
You should have multiple automations.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You should have multiple, especially if you're a business. Right? You should have retirement situations. You should have stock situations. You should have, if you're blessed enough to be at the point where you're investing in real estate and shit like that. All of that stuff should be automated.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So you don't have to think about it. So your money's coming in and it's to the savings accounts automatically. And then the money just spend your money.
Right.
I want to buy some shit. I want to take the bitches out. I want to trick at the strip club. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
But at least, but you don't have to think about it because the automation already sent your money to the correct spaces. So while you out here tricking, you still doing what you're supposed to do. You see what I'm saying?
Real talk. Real fucking talk, man.
Because we know it. There's a few of y'all niggas. Yeah, we know y'all be tricking, nigga. We know.
Real shit. But yeah, I think it's it's one of these things that's always good to think about, at the beginning of the year, because then you want to set yourself up for later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? Because and also too, I think it's good to save and to make sure that you know where your money's going, because when shit happens, meaning like if you don't expect to happens, then okay, I'm glad that I had some money here or there to handle that thing that just happens. So I think we forget about those things where it's like things that just it could be anything. It could be like your family, one of your kids needs some extra medical attention, or you fucking something with your house that you got to fix, or anything. It's mad shit. At any time, and you're like, fuck,
It's winter time.
Yeah. Right.
It's winter time. Your tire just blew. Now you gotta, get some money to pay for these new tires.
Yes, sir.
Something happened on the car that messed up. Anything can happen. You're supposed to actually have 3 to 6 months worth of monthly expenses saved up for for exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Real talk.
So if your monthly expenses are $2,000 a month, or let's just say your monthly expenses is $4,000 a month, right? At minimum, you should have $12,000 in the bank saved up. At minimum.
A lot of people follow that recipe, man. And one quick thing I'll say, because I know we're wrapping up, but perfect example, man. You know what I mean? Somebody at one of the officers on the real estate side got beat up or something crazy. And now they're in the hospital in crazy condition. Now the office is doing a GoFund to help with the medical bills and all the expenses for the loss of income and medical bills.
Right.
How crazy is that? The field of real estate is the top producer, but the medical bills is crazy. Now
I thought you were gonna say that the real estate field is a top producer of ass whoopings. I thought, but seriously, they got beat up by a client, like, or they got beat up. They was
in the street. They was just on some regular pedestrian type walking around.
Damn.
Somebody tried to rob them or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Competition now, and they hurting for money, and we're doing a GoMe fund for the office. But the twisted part about that is, to your point, Miles, that you made earlier on, if they had a life insurance policy, they could have took the cash out of that to help survive. You know what I mean? At this point earlier on, you know, you could save, but it's only but so much you could save. But at least they had something saved, they could have went for that. But when you don't have them in place, man, and it happens, listen, it's a reason why you got to have insurance. You know what I mean? You got to have insurance and insurance for money, because a lot of people don't realize, man, like you, to Katie's point, man, when stuff like that happen, now whatever, he's the breadwinner of his family. His wife probably home cozy, and now she panicking because now he can't work, he can't produce. Right. How they gonna pay their bills now? You know what I mean? You got to depend on other people, and that's the worst feeling when you in a bind and you got to depend on everybody else but yourself to try to survive. That ain't right. Feeling.
Yeah. And I want to say back to my point about creating, you know, automating your savings, or as I would call it, creating a savings subscription, is that a lot of people love to say they don't know how to save. Well, you just got to set it up once.
Right.
You really don't. Once you really don't have to know how to save. You just got to set it up once. All you really need to know how to do is to continue bringing money in.
Yep.
Thing. So make sure you hold on to your job, and if you lose your job, make sure you you understand your field and your industry and your career, so you could get another one. Shit like that. But yeah, you don't have to know how to save, because once you set up the automation, you straight.
Right. That is real shit. That's real shit. So any last things that people should think about for the new year to get their shit popping? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts?
Hey man, the usual, man. Just go to the website, man, and book an appointment so we can talk about how we help and secure your financial future. Also, we got an event coming up, March 1st and March 15th, where we talking about finances. It's going to be drinks, food, the whole nine, entertainment, gifts, giveaways, everything going over finances, credit, life insurance, how to build your future, how to secure your financial future. So be on the lookout for that.
You see, legacy builders, right? They be having all these events, and they be tricking. They be tricking on drinks, food, entertainment, and shit. This nigga Rashidi be wearing 3-piece suits and whatnot. These niggas be tricking. But what makes it all possible is that they already know the money's already saved. So the money that they tricking on these events to try to impress y'all niggas. No.
Right.
They hold great events. But honestly, that's what I'm saying though. Like, you run a business, you set up your business where your money is getting saved. You know your income, you know the type of money you make a month. So you make sure the money gets saved here, and there. You got a couple of investment situations automated. Now, what's left? Nigga, let's go. We want drinks at the event. Boom, we got it. We want food at the event. Boom, we got it. We want entertainment. You know what I'm saying? We want to wear a nice suit and make it look spiffy. Boom, we got it. We need equipment for sound and production. Boom, we got it. You see what I'm saying? As long as it's in the budget, we got it. As long as we don't touch our savings structure, our savings subscriptions, and our savings setup, we're straight. You see what I'm saying? So honestly, guys, think about it that way. Look at it as a savings subscription. Just like how you can have a subscription to Netflix, have a savings subscription, something that you set up to save your money, and it's automated. So your money goes where it's supposed to go. So you don't even have to think about spending it.
So last question, Captain, what percent of our income should we be saving?
At least 30%.
At least 30%. 50%. No, 50%. Well, the truth is, it used to be, but now these days, that got flipped.
It used to be what? It used to be what?
So it used to be 20% as far as the savings, but now these days, it got flipped to where you should be saving 30% now. 20% is going to go towards like your miscellaneous things where your wants. 20% is your wants now. 30% is your savings, and 50% is your necessities. But it used to be where it was 20% savings and 30% for your wants. But it got flipped because of today's times and inflation and things like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Man. All right. So guys, make sure you guys go to legacybuildersus.com. Hit up Kaylee and Rashidi. And so you guys set up that consultation. You feel me? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And remember, guys, the truth is inside you. We out.
Peace.